Hi guys! Welcome back
to the sabanliz podcast.
Welcome to the
One day we'll say it together.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about the fact that there were aliens found in the ocean.
Yeah, I always knew that they were gonna be in the ocean.
You really?
And in the air everywhere.
I just felt like they would be in space. That's what I always thought.
No, but I always, because people always say like, oh my god, we should look at space and different planets, and it's like 2% of our ocean is only discovered. So I don't know what, like, I believe that Atlantis is real. I believe that mermaids are real. I believe that all exist.
I definitely believe that mermaids are real.
Yeah.
But also, like, the ocean is, like, I think the scariest thing to me ever.
It is
like
scary.
I'm scared of water. Like sometimes I see these videos where like you see on the ocean these huge waves.
Yeah,
it's so scary to me.
It is scary.
And then you see these like ships on there and they're like barely making it.
That one sound on TikTok. Oh
my god, that's so scary. That makes me never want to swim again ever.
Yeah. But can you imagine you're being lost at sea?
No, just
accept.
But also drowning is
scary
because you're like fighting for your life.
Yeah,
that's so scary. But just because I think like humans, we go into the water and we swim and stuff, but I don't think we understand the power of water, like how strong the ocean is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that scares me so much because you think it's you think it's just like I'm gonna swim here, it's not that deep, and then like a wave can come and just catch you.
Yeah, I one time when I was in the Dominican Republic, I was swimming and I was there with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and when we were swimming he literally saved me out of the water because so I went to swim and all of a sudden something happened where the tide was pulling me more into the into the ocean, but I was trying to swim out. But the more I tried to swim out, the more I was going backwards. So there was literally a moment where I was like, oh, I'm gonna drown. Like I accepted it. I was like, I'm gonna drown. And then when I stopped fighting it is actually when my ex could pull me out of it, because otherwise I would have drowned.
I actually had the same thing happen, but it was actually my fault. Like I went to the Bahamas with my first boyfriend, and the waves, like there would like come waves, but everyone would be like waiting on the waves to then like jump. I was 19 anyway, so we were jumping, but the waves, that one wave was so strong that it took me, and I felt like I was drowning, and he also pulled me out of the water. Because you really like underestimate the power strength. And
it's the more you try to go against it, the more you get pulled back.
I actually read that. Remember that one video I showed you of that couple?
That destroyed me for a couple of days.
So there was this couple, I don't know where this was.
I think it was in Russia.
They
say, I think they said it
maybe
was
in Russia. So there was this couple, and it was like obviously bad weather and it shouldn't be near the ocean, but they were like hugging each other in front of the water, and all of a sudden the woman just disappears, and the guy starts like looking for her. He's like everywhere trying to swim into the water, but also he's scared because there's huge waves coming, and then she just disappeared, and then after they didn't find her body again.
So what they said that happened, people allegedly said that the woman was drunk or something, or she was trying to swim, and from the beginning you see on the video the guy's trying to pull her out.
He's trying to pull her out,
or he's trying to stop her from going into the water. And then 1 second, guys, the woman is just gone. And then he's like, what the fuck?
Like, he can't even, because everyone was like, if I was him, then I would go into the water. But this guy's also thinking about his own life, you know, just because the waves were gonna take him as well. So he was like trying to look for her. It was so sad.
I saw something.
What I want to say. So basically they said when a wave comes, you actually have to, because we tried to get out of it, but you have to actually swim in the wave or something, they said. People were saying.
Or you have to release the going against it. So
you have to go with it. You have to go with the wave.
I heard that too.
Saying,
But unless you're in that moment, you're gonna start fighting for your life.
That's like exactly how, I'm gonna let you finish your story but in a second, but that's how exactly how, you know, all these people were like, yeah, if you ever were held at gunpoint, you should like just do this and you'll get out of it. But man, until I'm in that situation, do you think I'm gonna think about all these moves?
Yeah, I'm just gonna accept it. You know, I have such peace with
That's not
that.
what I was thinking.
Oh.
You're just gonna accept it? Liz is not gonna fight when you attack her.
This is like ready to go.
I don't think
Are you okay, Liz?
I don't think you should say this on camera.
No. No, this is
I will fight. She will fight, guys. She will fight.
No, I would just be like, you know, I really have a good relationship with death, but not because I want to die, but I know when your time comes that it's just time to return home, you know? I don't see Earth as home. I also wouldn't do it myself because I think we all have lessons to learn on Earth. But I do think when it's time to go home, I'm gonna go home. And I'm going home, you know? And I think that is something very beautiful and peaceful.
Yeah.
And whenever it's your time, you cannot stop it. Because I used to have anxiety about flying and all these things. And I used to think like, what if my plane crashes right now? But then I was like, but then it's meant to happen right now. And I'm meant to leave the earth. So.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly also how I think. Like that, I also used to be scared. Oh, what if something happens to me and this and that? But now I'm in such a but that's just like reality of human life.
Yeah.
Like that's what we have been promised. We are gonna die.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people don't realize. Like it's almost like we don't realize it until it really happens to somebody, and we're like, oh.
I think
it actually happens.
Yeah, I think we're just always dying. I think versions of ourselves are always dying. So your child version dies, then your teenage version dies, then your adult version will die. You constantly change into someone new, and you also have to accept that the people around you are also constantly changing, and their version of them is also dying.
I think the scariest part for me, because for myself and me dying, I hope it will be such a like beautiful process, and I do believe it is. But like people I love dying is a concept that I cannot, like I have to really struggle with still. Yeah. Because that's like,
I think we come to Earth as souls to learn detachment and to not attach to things. That's why in religion they also speak about like don't attach to earthly things, but they also talk about other humans. They talk about all these things. That's why a lot of times people will go through the craziest heartbreak and they're like, why is this happening to me? And it's like, it's teaching you to let go. Because when you leave this earth as a soul, you're meant to return home. So nothing on this earth will belong to you, and you have to understand that. And I think a lot of people live disillusioned with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think like it's so easy to say to people like, yeah, we're here to learn detachment and we're here to let go. Like, you love your mom.
Yeah, I love my mom, but I have to, like a long time I used to think about, you know, if she died, I would also leave this earth immediately. I used to think like, oh, I would do that, this and that. But then when I started to understand us as souls, and instead of, because we say like, oh, that's our mom, but she's also a separate soul having her separate mission on earth. And when that's completed, she also needs to go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think we would definitely see like our parents not as like regular, like they also have like, no, it's just my mom.
Yeah.
And then no, this is a human with their own life.
She's her separate soul. Yeah. And her creation was probably to bring children to earth, to bring a family to earth, to create so many children, and to leave an impact, because she left a big impact on me, and then in turn I leave impact on other people, you leave impact on other people. But where does all of our innate knowledge come from, or strength? It comes from our mother. You know what I mean? So that's like how it goes on through generations. The reason why, for example, I want to go out there and heal generations of women is because I want to heal my ancestors for the treatment that they didn't get, for things that happened to them that they didn't deserve, you know?
But I feel like we're going to a world where the divine feminine is finally like awakening up.
Yes. And nothing like me and Sabina were talking about it. The countries where women are not respected are never thriving.
Never. And I told Liz, because we were talking about this one country. Sorry, finish your sentence.
No, that you say that.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. So we were talking about, Liz was talking about this one country where women are so oppressed, and I was like, Liz, look at all the countries where women do have freedom and do have the right to do whatever they want. They're always, if we look economically, they're always thriving.
Yeah.
If we look at countries that oppress women, they're never thriving.
Never.
They're always like, you know, they're always struggling.
Yeah.
You know, but also oppression, you know, places where a lot of like sins happen, you know, bad things, evil things happen. You can feel it in the energy in these places.
I don't think any ground, any house will be blessed when a woman is mistreated.
Yeah.
Any land, anything, it will never be blessed.
Of course not. Because you're disrespecting the almost the tunnel for life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because God is like, okay, this is a tunnel.
Yeah.
This is a tunnel I chose to
I'm gonna bless women. They're gonna be the ones.
They're gonna be the ones to carry these souls that I'm, you know, essentially created.
Yeah.
And then you have people disrespecting that tunnel that He made so holy.
Yeah.
So how can you ever thrive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very true. By the way, someone also asked, like, how do you guys feel towards your father right now? And do you guys forgive him? And I think it's good to talk a little about forgiveness and how we stand on that.
Okay, I'm gonna start by saying that you guys only know 10% of the things. Because a lot of things we cannot share also for like
Legal reasons.
And if we were to tell you the whole story, you guys would be really, really disgusted. I think when I look at my dad, first time he left, I just hated him with pure hate. If I saw his face, anything regarding, I didn't want to hear I told all the siblings, I don't want to hear his name in this house. Don't mention him. Even if my mom mentioned him, I would get so angry. And I think we all had that reaction. And then when I actually started like going from hating him to looking at his life and then trying to understand, then I had this phase of like where I had empathy for him. And then now in the state where I'm now, I'm just like, I understand that you have had a rough childhood and you had a tough upbringing and you've been through a lot. However, that doesn't excuse the things you have done, and it still makes you a bad person. And the trauma or the hurt you have been through in your life will never be an excuse to treat people badly, and I will never accept that. I will never accept someone who's like treating me bad and then saying, yeah, but I've went through this and this. I'm at a point in my life where I don't accept that. Like you said in one of our videos, like I can understand that, but I don't have to deal with that. You know what I mean? We have a relationship with my dad where we, you know, it's like someone that I don't know.
Yeah, that's why. So the way I see this is I had the same. I've never really had anger. I was more scared of the person, so I never had really anger towards him. I was just scared, and I was happy he was out of my life. But the more I went on and I started learning about souls and spirituality, I started to look at him as a 3-year-old boy that was abused by his parents and by his mother, which was also very severe. And then I was like, wow, like I can understand, because he used to say, even when like my mom would confront him and be like, why are you beating your children? He would be like, well, I also got beat, you know, and that was his justification. But I also experienced that, and we all experience that, and we all are of the mindset of, I don't want my children to experience this in any form, in any way, not by their father, not by me, you know what I mean? So there is a different path that you could have chosen, but you didn't, okay? So that's your responsibility. And second of all, when I speak of him, or when we speak of our father, we speak of a stranger. We don't really know the person. We never really knew the person. It was just an abuser to us. So I think the biggest thing that I had to come to terms with is that I never had a father, and that I will never have a father or a male figure that I could have looked up to or sought advice from, and that's okay. I come to terms with that. I also came to terms with the fact that I will never have a childhood, and that I had to mourn the loss of my childhood, that I will never be a child again. And it's kind of that you died, that version of you died, and she didn't get what she deserved. But right now, when I'm in a stage where I am like in my 20s, I can still choose to nurture my inner child, and I can still choose to be soft to myself now, and to take care of myself in a way that I wish my parents had done. So I think I really focus on that. And in terms of forgiveness, I think that I don't really need to forgive someone that I don't feel anything towards. I can forgive Sabina when I have a fight because I want to make things right with her and I want her to be in my life. But I feel like it's almost like when you get a hate comment, you don't have to forgive that person because they don't matter to you.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? So I think for me, forgiveness is no point. Him telling me sorry for all the things I did when he dies, before he dies one day, let's say he gets a revelation, it's not really, it will not do anything to me.
Exactly. Like it's like we're exactly what you said, like we say like our father, but we don't say dad. We say his first name. Even my brothers, we all say his first name. This guy's like a stranger. I think the only one that would want forgiveness is mom, but even she will never accept that, I think.
No. But my mom has a difficult time with letting go of the past. She is, however, a very happy woman. Like, she will be joyful. If you guys like saw her, she's always like, nah, like almost like very childlike.
My mom is the strongest woman I've ever met in my life. Like just looking at her, I just know God is real. Just looking at her, I just know God is real.
And that is where our strength comes from our mother. Our confidence comes from our mother. So I just wish people the best. I don't care about them.
I also think now, for example, when I look back at our lives, I almost like I think like, okay, it just had to happen that way.
It just had to happen.
Like he had to be our dad, because if he wasn't, we wouldn't be the people we are today,
or we wouldn't be here,
or you wouldn't have the opportunity to share the knowledge you have, or all these
but
things.
I think that's a dangerous thing, because a lot of people say that, like, oh yeah, but he made you strong. No, I was strong because I had no choice. I had to be strong. You know what I mean? We all had to be strong. Like I, for example, I would have wanted to be a child. I would have wanted to experience that.
But maybe that was just not your mission.
I know, and I've accepted that, but that doesn't mean that I have to give credit to an abuser. You're
not giving credit to that. You're giving, we're not giving credit to him. We're just saying like sometimes bad things happen, so something good can come out of it. You know?
Yeah, that is true, but it's only when you do come out of it, when you process the way in a way where you think like, oh my God, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to try to become a version of myself that I really want to be, because we could have ended up really bad, like addicts, like really, really bad.
You always, with these people that have been through stuff, you always have like two ways. Like it's either I become my abuser or I become the opposite of that. And unfortunately, some people choose to become their abuser, which is so sad, because that's like the easy way. The way to like not become the person that like, you know, birthed you, or become like be angry. You know, you could so easily be an angry person because you were like done injustice done to you. It's so easy to be like, you know, F everything, I'm gonna do to everyone what they did to me, and be angry, and actually being like, hey, actually I don't want to be like this, I actually want to break this cycle. It's not the easy path, but it's so worth it at the end of the day, because you're actually like healing the coming generations.
You know, but I think a lot of people will never do that in general, because for humans it's very normal to go to a route that's always comfortable. So whatever is comfortable, even if that's bad, the human brain will choose that over change or over taking accountability. Because how many cycle breakers do you have? Like in our even generation, no one did that, you know.
I think we're the first generation, you and me, of all our ancestors, where the women are not oppressed.
That is true, and that's a long line,
and that's a very long line. It's like hundreds of years of women being oppressed. You know, my grandma, her mother, and all were oppressed. And then Liz and I are the first women in our family that are actually free, able to do what we want. And then look how that pays off.
Yeah.
Because my mom was actually the cycle breaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gave us that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She did, yeah.
So she's actually the cycle breaker.
Yeah.
And because of her, generations to come of women will have the ability to live a free life
and to believe in themselves.
And
I also want to say to any young woman watching this that are in a similar situation, I just want to say that when you take that leap of faith and you believe in yourself and you get rid of the fear of being oppressed, you move mountains for your ancestors. You move mountains for the women that came before you and that wish they could have done that. And you will move mountains for the next generation. It's something that is so magical.
It just takes one person to actually change the world. You know what I mean?
It does.
Because we can hate on, because I see a lot of people like hating on feminism and all these feminists and this and that. But feminism has saved so many lives.
Yeah.
Like feminism has given us the ability to work. Feminism has done so much for us.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, these stupid feminists, I just want to be a housewife and I don't want to work and all this. Meanwhile, the women, our ancestors were like, it was their dream for them to work or to go to school or to even have their own money. They didn't even have their own bank account.
But that's why I do think it's the opposite of the end, because if you have like extreme feminism, you're gonna get extreme housewife type women. They're gonna extreme each other out, so you have to find a balance where you can meet in the middle.
I just think it's sad when men do something to women that women start hating women.
That's a lot. That happens a lot.
And it's so sad to me because I see it so much where a woman will get, like, a man will do a woman wrong, and instead of like hating on me, not hating, but like instead of seeing that man as incapable of being a man, you go and hate on the women. Like, that's so sad to me.
Because I think that women are naturally brought up to view each other as competition instead of working together to a higher purpose. And that's another thing how society plays with undermining women in general. But so they grow up like that, so for them it's like, oh, any woman is competition. And especially when a woman, let's say, is a housewife and the only thing she's doing is like taking care of the kids, looking good, and then the man provides for her, she's gonna constantly worry about other women because that's her income, is her beauty and everything, you know. That's why women, please have something else also going for yourself instead of only that.
I also think that women, what I see a lot is they expect way more, like they expect more loyalty from women that they don't even know than their own man. They expect, like, for example, like a guy will cheat with another girl. That girl doesn't know that girl, but she expects more loyalty from that girl than her guy.
But then it's like the same way that they were brought up like competition. They also think like, oh, you should have
done that. Yeah. Instead of like, I think women also should start like holding their men accountable.
I think mothers should start holding their sons accountable, and that's where it starts. Because a lot of times they'll like tell when a daughter does something, they don't give them credit for it, but if a son does something, the mom will talk about it for a whole week, okay? And that's how they get like instilled in cuddling the man and coddling him, and then when he grows up, he has this complex where he obviously is spoiled, you know, in his behavior. So like whenever they do something wrong, the mom will even defend the guy, like, oh yeah, you cheated, oh yeah, but he's a man, it's normal that he cheated. But you know, the women will even say that, instead of saying to your son, why did you hurt a woman that was good to you?
But I also think these moms don't like women, and that's how they raise their sons.
It's projection,
exactly. Because you're gonna tell a lot of these moms, hold your sons accountable, but what their son's doing is exactly what they want them to do.
Moms that are in love with their sons is the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Showing some weird ass behavior around their sons, and it's so weird.
I think it's the seeking validation from men thing in their own son, which is
it's almost like they enjoy their sons treating women badly, and they almost encourage it.
You know why? I feel like when a woman feels like she has been done dirty, it kind of feels good to see that with another woman in their minds, you know? But that's an unhealed version of a woman.
That's sick.
Yeah, because it's generations of bad behavior that you're again creating within men.
Yeah, Liz just talking about this. She just showed me a video of a woman that was married to. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, I just saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, we just saw a video on YouTube of this trophy wife.
Yeah, that's her. That's her name.
That's her name. And she was married to this guy. And what was she like? You know the story. She was like married to him, and he was taking care of her.
Yeah, so she had a channel where she talks about like being a trophy wife and all these things. And she was a single mom before, so she had already one child, I think. And she was pregnant with a newborn, and then she found out that her husband had inappropriately touched her young daughter. And she had to divorce him, and she made a video about that, explaining all of that, and I was actually disgusted.
Yeah.
Disgusted. I don't even know what to say.
Like, and then I was telling Liz, like, these women that, like, imagine like a guy's providing for you and you don't have a backup, and he's doing everything, and he does something to your child and you cannot leave because you have not even a place to take your child.
I think, you know, besides that, even if they're not providing, a lot of women choose to not believe their daughters.
Yeah.
And choose to kick the daughters out and be like, whatever, you're just lying or whatever, you know. I think that's even a bigger problem. Because the woman did believe her daughter.
Some moms just don't like it. Some moms just envy their daughters. And some moms also hate their daughters. And we see it more than we'd like to. And it's just a fact.
Yeah.
A lot of daughters are competition for their mothers. And you can see it in the way these moms treat their daughters. And it's not nice. It's your child.
Yeah. That's crazy though. I think a lot of women are just afraid of seeing themselves in their daughters, and it's very confrontational. It's a very confrontational thing, you know. And I do get the confrontational thing. I don't get hating or resenting your child for it. That's what I don't understand. I
think there's a difference between feeling those things, because, you know, we're all human. We all have these things in us. I think there's one thing,
but feeling what?
Like
jealous?
Feeling jealous, feeling envy, that's one thing. But like acting on it.
Ooh, I saw this video once, and it was about like how older women are very jealous of younger girls. And that's actually really sad.
Yeah, that's really sad. Because that's something you can't control.
Yeah.
Like that's something, if you're jealous of someone's age, that's something that then you're gonna be jealous the rest of your life.
Yeah. I feel like people have such a huge issue now as well about like obsessing with age.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, I'm so young, I'm so afraid to be 30, I'm so this and that. And I'm like, guys, are you okay in your head? Like, what is going on?
The most beautiful women I've ever seen are
past 30.
Are past 30.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to be in my 30s, because I'm like, damn, the women that I see in their 30s, and they, by the way, they look 18, 20 maybe.
But 30 is so young.
Yeah, 30 is so young. And I feel like with this whole thing of like, oh, women above 25, they're like old, this and that. This is the thing that comes from men who like young girls. But in reality, I don't really, like in my environment, I don't see men saying that at all.
At all. I've seen young men wanting older women, actually.
Like if an old guy wants a young girl, then to me that's okay. He just wants a pretty girl. Like he just wants a young girl that just sits there and looks pretty. Like, but the guys in my environment, they actually want their brain. I'm not saying that young girls are not smart, but a guy who's 50, what has he in common with the 20-year-old?
I think you only see men that are either narcissistic or just only care about superficial. You see them with very young women. But the highly intelligent men, you don't really see them with young women.
No.
Because they want to sit with them and be able to
want to get their brain stimulated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sit with someone that is just like we're not matching like on an intelligence level.
I would have a hard time. No,
Yeah.
I mean, a guy that's like 80, 90.
Yeah,
like,
I cannot. Why would I sit with a 20-year-old right now? I mean, I can, but like a 20-year-old boy is, I don't have anything to relate to him.
I think especially men are much younger in their brain when they're younger. So that's even harder, because for me, even being with Landon, I was like, whoa, he's very, very young. But luckily he's highly intelligent.
Yeah, super intelligent and very mature.
Yeah, so that is the one reason that I was like, okay, fine, you know.
I feel like you and Landon have like the same level of intelligence.
Yeah, he's very smart.
Yeah, very smart. I don't think I've ever seen someone that smart.
Yeah. And if he don't understand something, he'll learn it quickly to make sure he understands it.
And the way I feel like you and him have the same thing, where you guys can put your thoughts in like perfect words.
Yeah, he
explain
articulates himself well.
So well. Yeah. He will explain something and say something, and then I'll think about it like all day, and I'm like, oh my god, did you hear what he said?
He says a lot of profound things. For example, he was talking today about my cats, and he said that, you know, it's funny that Luigi's like the bigger cat. He's the one that always comes for cuddles and always comes for love, and he gets the most attention and love from everyone. But he's also the most jealous cat. So he'll tell like Felix and Mars, for example, to not come near me. He fights Felix.
Luigi is the most selfish.
He's the most selfish cat. But then you have Felix, who is more like, he doesn't have enough boundaries with the other cats and he's scared of them. So he will not go next to me because Luigi doesn't want him. And because of that, Felix receives the least love because he's just so afraid to come next to me. Or even when I touch him, he's like, he's scared because he's looking for Luigi to come. So then Landon said, like, it's so funny, like, it's crazy observation to me that the most selfish out of all of these cats gets the most love, but the one that is actually like, you know, soft and doesn't have enough boundaries, he goes through life not getting enough love, you know.
Yeah, it was actually a good observation he made.
That's actually interesting.
But that's actually also like applies to humans.
Yeah,
because people who actually ask for the things that they want, they get it.
Selfish people, like, people always talk about narcissism, this, sociopath, this. Narcissists and sociopaths are the ones high up making bank. There's the one making money because they don't care.
And getting all the attention.
They will step over anyone to get wherever they want, and that serves them, you know. They don't, like, you really have to have a high form of narcissism or like, think that you're literally the best thing on earth, and don't doubt that belief at all in order to make it up really high ranking.
Yeah. However, that behavior is not encouraged, because
I mean, for someone that only cares about money, go ahead, you know. But if you care about integrity, morals, all these things, then yeah, obviously.
But I also think, apart from that, like, people who actually ask for things that they want, like, for example, if I come to you, I'm like, Liz, you know, I would like, you know, you to be, for example, compliment me some more or something because I'm not feeling so well. If I actually tell you that, then you will start doing that. You know what I mean? And I feel like people who are just like, oh, I'm not gonna say that. That's actually what healing really taught me. Is like, speak what you want, and accept for, because that was really hard for me, accepting like people being nice to me or loving me. That was so hard for me. But now, after healing and stuff, I actually like ask. I'm like, you know, I would like this, or I would like that, or can you say this to me, or I don't like it when you say this. And it has really healed me to do that, to speak freely. You know what I mean?
I think it's also such a feminine attribute to receive and to accept when you get it, because men and masculine energy is more about giving and chasing and all these things, but feminine is about receiving. And when a woman constantly denies people of help and denies them of not receiving things, you will see how how harder your life will become, because you are a woman at the end of the day. You have to operate somehow in your feminine. And second of all, you're denying yourself of what is your birthright, which is to receive. So either it's in small ways. If you don't feel comfortable of receiving from a man, receive maybe from your parents, from whoever, from a woman, you know, but you must receive something. And I see a lot of people, they're also like in work, for example, they'll do a job and then they're like, oh, but you know, like, I'm not gonna charge you for it, or I don't want to charge you too much, and all these things. And it's like, but you must.
Yeah.
The universal law is that you must receive when you give something. Otherwise, the exchange was not equal, so it won't be fruitful.
Yeah. Because everything is about balance, guys. Like, when you do something, you have to receive something. It doesn't have to be the same amount or the same thing. You always have to receive something.
Yeah, so also the same way, I remember in the beginning with my YouTube career, I was always denying big brand deals, and this was so much money, and I was always like, no, I'm not doing brand deals, I'm not doing brand deals. And then I went to my therapist about it, and I said, like, I just feel uncomfortable taking that amount of money for like brand deals, and I don't want like to do brand deals on my channel. I want it to be without blah blah. And then she told me, she's like, Liz, what you're doing is now going against universal law. You cannot do that. She's like, when you put out this much content for people and you're helping them this much, then you must receive some value from it back, and that is monetarily. So she's like, you should stop feeling bad about the money and you should start accepting it.
Yeah, it's always funny how people expect, like for example, spiritual people that are helping, they expect them to do it for free.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, why are you asking me? You don't really care about me. No, these people also have to live. They also have to make money.
So and it's also a way where you're like a little bit uncomfortable with too much money, because that's what I had in the beginning. I was always like, oh no, that's too much, that's too much. I don't want that much money.
Yeah.
But then I started to just view myself differently. And because that's a like mindset, you know, it's being afraid of money, it's thinking that money is bad and all these things, but money is at the end of the day just an energy that comes from you creating things authentically. That's a byproduct. Money is not the goal, it's your purpose. And then money comes when it's like a gift that you get back, you know what I mean, to make your life easier.
I think as long as you're like, I was talking to this one lady and she also told me, like, as long as you're impacting humanity in a good way, money will just flow. Money,
yeah, you'll be very abundant. You'll be very abundant.
As long as you're doing something that is impacting humans in a good way, you will always have it good.
Yeah.
So whatever you do in life, just make sure that you're doing something where you're like, okay, this is actually helping someone. It could be anything, really.
It's anything. It's like writing a book, cooking, becoming a footballer, being a personal trainer, singing, poetry, art. Everything is a creation. Okay, raising a family is a big creation,
very big.
So all these things, you know, either way, when you're helping someone and you do things authentically from good intentions, God will always bless you.
Always.
God doesn't bless people with a negative mindset or heart, because why would God make your life easier when you're so hard on yourself and other people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's your inner world that shines out. The more hate you have, the more difficult your life becomes.
I think also, like, you have to see God as something good, and I think also some people struggle with that, as seeing him as a positive thing, because, you know, when something bad happens, I see people going to, oh, but why would God do this? Why would God do this? God said, like, I am who you think I am. So I think a lot of people have this idea of God that he's like this person you should fear and this and that. But I just really see him as this energy that's just so full of love and light, and just wants to give me all the love that I want and anything that I want. And I started seeing him like that, and I really started seeing my life really improve.
Yeah,
because now every time I think about God, to me that's like my best friend, you know. It's like someone that I love so much. I may not be able to see him, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, you know what I mean? And when you start seeing God as this person loves me so much and he wants the best for me, and if I ask something, why would he deny that? Because he loves me, he wants to see me good. Then your life will literally improve. And then when I ask things or I ask for stuff that I don't get, or something happens in my life, then I'm like, okay, there's something good in this. He's protecting me, or he doesn't want me to have this because it's not good for me, or this bad thing happened because maybe because I, for example, had like a fine like 2 weeks ago when I was driving the car, but then I was thinking to myself in the car, okay, maybe I had to be pulled over because maybe I would have been in an accident if I drove further. So I started thinking like that. So this bad thing maybe prevented something worse happening. You know what I mean? So for me, everything I see around God is like about love and just seeing him as this person that just wants the best for me. And I think a lot of people should start seeing him as that, and not someone who wants to punish you or wants to have you a bad life, because that's not what God is about or religion is about.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't understand religion deeper than it is, and I think that people need to understand that religion is a very intelligent thing, and it's almost like beyond human capabilities of understanding.
It's very hard because we will, for example, read the Quran or the Bible and we will take it literally what it's saying. But I think when you look at these religions and try to understand, because even thinking about it, Liz, like trying to understand what God said.
Yeah.
How can we ever comprehend what God is saying?
Yeah.
Like he's such a unimaginable, smart, intelligent being. Like how can we humans ever understand him? You know what I mean? So when, for example, when I am reading like verses and stuff, I'm like checking it like 10 times. What does he mean? Because maybe he says like, okay, don't do this. Okay, but why? I think this is a good way to end the video. Do you want to add something?
No.
Okay. No, I don't want to add anything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. We love you so much.
We love you guys so much.
Yeah. And we hope you have a nice day. It's full moon today, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Emotions are high.
Emotions are high. Be nice to each other.